All right, bro, I'm sitting down.
Yeah, you should sit down. Oh, it's Mike. Is it rolling?
It's rolling.
Fuck, always.
Dude, this guy is in a type of mood. Yeah, I can fucking tell. I'm gonna pour this coffee.
I'm wearing Adidas socks with Nike shoes. I'm just all over the place. I'm a mess today.
Dude, I don't know about this episode already.
This episode might be a shit show.
The only good news is we have coffee. All right, this is a good vibe. Yo, Mike's is a good vibe.
All right, no crack today?
Cheers,
Just
bro.
caffeine? Cheers,
Caffeine.
Also, you don't have to have your fucking hand touching me the whole time like last time.
All right, let's pause the music.
Every clip.
Dude, I just like to sit like this.
Hello, sir. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
Dude,
all I see in all our clips is your little fucking hand thing and your fingers. Just, guy has to be in every shot.
Oh, man. Man,
Shit,
you know
son.
what? All right, are you going to intro it or what?
Yeah, motherfuckers, we're back. Season 2,
I do the fingers.
episode 2. I know, you're all about the fingers.
Job. I got some stuff I got to get off my chest, bro.
All right, get it off.
First of all, I appreciate this set. Well done.
Thank you.
I like how you set some things up. I know I give you shit for it a lot, but this looks good. Got the Restore 9. We got the hoodies, bro. Can we just...
Yeah, shout out the hoodies. They look sick. I did a good job.
You did do a good job.
People have been telling me they're awesome.
Dude, every time I wear it,
Yeah.
this color looks great on you. It really brings out your eyes.
Ooh, tan brings out your eyes?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think that person's just flirting with you, but okay.
Yeah, maybe. But for
Because
real.
I don't know how tan brings out your eyes.
For real.
Well, you're just so
These are dope.
sexy.
Can
Dalton.
people buy these?
People can buy these online. Yeah. And cool enough, we're going to have some more merch drop in the next little bit, so it's exciting times for the boys.
Okay, the other thing I want to get off my chest.
Yeah.
Now, I'm really working on taking responsibility for my actions when I make mistakes, okay? And one of my jobs for the podcast is to have Northern Hydration, at least 2 cans, so that we can have them on the episode, because we love Northern Hydration. I appreciate their product. They're a great brand, and I want to promote them because I like them.
Agreed.
So I didn't do my job, and that is why we do still have 2 cans, because shout out Northern Hydration, but they're empty. I'm not going to say here
Yep.
why. And
We're dehydrated. We're still getting caffeinated, but
they look great.
we're
That's why we have the coffee. But I do want to say I apologize for that.
You can just apologize to them.
I apologize to you guys.
No, Northern Hydration.
I apologize to Northern Hydration for this mistake. We still have your product in the show. We love your product very much. Maybe if you could just continuously just send me product so that I never have to make this mistake again. This guy was pissed at me. I got a phone call from him yesterday when I told him I had 2 empty cans. So,
Yeah.
but we make mistakes, we learn from them, we grow.
We do grow.
My potential to be better is there.
Is high. Yeah, you haven't unlocked your potential yet, that's for sure. All right, we're back officially. Episode 2, Season 2. Raring to go. Excited to talk about a few things today. It's been an interesting week.
It has been.
Lots of stuff's going on.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
Dude, can I start off by just saying, like, how are you, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I think genuinely, I've been working with a ton more clients this month. It's obviously January. This is kind of why I selected the books. Toss your phone off that one so people can see all the books. Yeah, I know. You're just making mistakes like left, right, and center. It's okay. And it just puts it right on there. Hold on, I'll just put mine there. And then we'll sit our fucking coffee cups on top of them like donkeys. And then it's a whole fucking thing.
Hey, I
Get
need
your
my
shit
phone.
out
I
of
have something for us.
What? You got something planned?
Yes.
Fucking who would have thought?
So,
Guy has something planned. We don't need you to read ChatGPT stories again about your fucking love life. We don't.
I got stuff for you, all right?
Yeah, I bet you do. You and Chat.
Okay, continue.
I brought some books because I think a lot of times this month creates a lot of opportunity for people to better themselves, want to better themselves, whether that's resolutions or just a fresh start. And I think these are some books that, for me, played a huge role in me just getting better.
These are great books. I've read all these books.
Yeah, making me feel better about myself, my choices. So I want to touch on, each of them, especially if you've read a few of them. We can touch on a few.
I've read all of these books.
But you've read every single one?
All of these.
Oh, fantastic. So we can have some conversations.
Maybe.
Sweet. Love it. But yeah, I want to touch on that today because, again, my week has been filled with people wanting to get better, which I love. I have to give all my clients credit, because when you invest money in yourself, it is hard. I don't know that we're always, encouraged to do it at the level that is required sometimes. And it's easy to invest your money or time elsewhere into all other things, especially if you're a parent or, you have a lot of other stuff going on, but you have to invest in yourself. That is the only way that you invest ultimately in other people, is time and energy in you, so you're your best self, so you can give. So anyway, shout out to all my clients that are doing that. I want to bring up some of the things they're going through, or just reoccurring themes that I'm recognizing are apparent with people that are trying to change their health and wellness. For any new listeners that don't know me, I'm a personal trainer, I'm a nutrition coach. So this is kind of my bread and butter, is just helping people get better and optimize their health. I have a ton of experience doing it now at this point in my life. I've been around fitness for 10 plus years almost, I think we're going on. So I've seen lots of different things. I've gone through stuff, but now that I've worked with so many clients, especially from the nutrition standpoint, it's like I'm learning a ton about how to actually help people make long-term changes, and the ramifications of you making big changes in your life from a health standpoint, even just in your diet and like your exercise routine, can go really far, especially over the course of 10 plus years. So anyways, we'll dive into some books in a second. How have things been with you?
Things have been good, man. It's been a good start to the year. I wouldn't say that it's overall been the craziest time for me, which is good. I had a busy 8 months leading into this new year. So it's been nice to come into it productive with intensity, but not overwhelming. I think sometimes the start of the year can be very overwhelming, especially when you are talking about it's a good time to reflect on your goals and what you want to accomplish and what you haven't accomplished and all these things, and in investing in the areas that you want to improve in. And sometimes I think that can get very overwhelming. And I'm at a place right now where I'm entering into the year, I think, at a very good pace for me, which is good. I've learned this is just a long game. I've started to look at things more in 5 years and 10 year spurts than I do in 1 year spurts. So it's trying to come in at a pace that is productive for me on all areas of my life, and I think I'm doing okay at that this month.
Yeah, I think you're doing a great job at it. I think more what I want to hear is how are clients doing? How are people coming in? What are you hearing when you're having conversations with people? How are they feeling about their general sense of self, where they're at?
I've had an interesting variety of feelings from people. You have the classic people who are really motivated and fired up and ready to rock and want to make these changes and are crushing it. But I've also seen a high number of people that are not in that state and are actually in a place of being a bit burnt out, but trying to push through because it is the time of the year where you're supposed to push through and have all this motivation and be this, revitalized person with the start of the new year. And I've gathered that there's some of my clients that are actually in a state where they need to recover and pull back as opposed to push through, which, easy for me to say as someone who always pushed through and is at a time in my life where I'm trying to reevaluate how I approach those things. But I think a lot of times we underestimate how much we push throughout the year, and when we get a moment of peace, like the Christmas time, the New Year, sometimes is a wind down period for a lot of people. All of that stuff that you've been pushing away because you've just been grinding kind of starts to show up. And you get that for a small window, and then you're back to the grind, and you try to just go back into it instead of maybe listening to your body. So I've actually had conversations with a couple of my clients where I'm like, hey, I actually think you need to pull back a little bit here. And it's not what I want to tell you to do, or I don't know if it's necessarily what you want to do, but I think it might be something that you need to consider. So it's been interesting to have both sides of the spectrum of those conversations.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I think also, I was going to ask you, amongst all that, do you think burnout is comes from the mental aspect of things, and it just comes out more sometimes in the physical in the long run, or do you think it's more physical going into mental?
It's hard to tell. I think it's dependent upon the person,
Yeah.
From my experience personally, with I wouldn't even say that I've reached burnout. I've never been but I've gotten to points where I am so overworked that I just lose, I hate getting to this place. I just lose enjoyment. I lose motivation. I get irritable. I get like short with people.
Right.
I'm not showing up as the person I want to be. A lot of that gets driven by both aspects for me. I think it gets driven by like the mental side of things, when maybe, I have things going on in my life that I'm not dealing with or not, managing the right way. I'm a little bit stressed. I'm a little bit anxious with myself. And then I'm also pushing myself really, really hard just because that's what I do, whether it be physical or business. And I think like for me, it's always been a combination of both.
Yep.
But I definitely think in what I've been reflecting on myself, and I don't try to project myself onto my clients, but I start to ask them questions because it's just like what I'm thinking of myself to see what they think. And I think there's a lot of underlying personal, mental, life things that influence the physical that we don't think about. And starting to dive into those things a little bit or explore them, I think is really important. That's definitely been the case for me, but I'm seeing it a little bit more with my clients as well when I'm asking them questions and I'm trying to gather like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, I think that was what makes you a good clinician or coach, is like actually saying what is coming up for me right now, and then sprinkling in leading questions or questions that can are open, I should say, rather than leading, can create the opportunity for them to talk on something that might be coming up, because we're all humans at the end of the day. A stressor for one person is a stressor for another, just in a different way. I just think a lot of the anguish that we create for ourselves is like mental, and then it like gets magnified by physical too. Because again, we're not just always thinking of just in our realm of people that are constantly exercising or want to do all this stuff. Like people that are just constantly doing things with their bodies, but are just doing things, and the mental cost association, I don't think they always perceive. So for example, last night I was on ChatGPT just like talking back and forth, and I was telling it, what my calendar looked like, and I was like, so where do I have space, and where am I like over kind of putting my time, or what am I missing here? Because some days I feel really drained, and then other days I feel really inspired and aligned and everything else. And so we talked about the mental cost of jumping from task to task.
When you say we, you mean you and Chat?
Me and Chat, yeah, me and Chat. We're going deep last night. But it's true. Like I think the changing of the hat to thing is what really causes a lot of problems. I don't think also people plan for like travel time in their calendars, or they don't leave space for fucking mistakes or problems or things that might come up. Like you can't just overload, right, in an effort to be efficient. Like it doesn't always work that way. So you have to leave space. But I think the other thing too is like I'm just realizing how much I'm taking off one business hat and putting on another one and consistently throughout my day, and where it's costing me. And quite frankly, because I had this conversation with another coach the last couple weeks, I've left certain habits that used to serve me, and I've tried to cut corners to do more of X, and I've tried to justify it. Like for example, finding a really well-balanced meal that I can buy out and justifying that I'm gonna go buy that if I just work another hour. Not understanding that, yes, that logically can make some sense, but it's like where that's taking energy for me to leave the place I'm at, to go get the food, to come back, to then like go work another hour when I should just go home, enjoy some aspect of the cooking process and like chill the fuck out, and then like go have that food for the next day.
Yeah.
It's like if you're constantly letting your brain operate and just being on for the sake of, I'm a better problem solver, I'm going to perfect this thing, I'm going to blah, 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 and not leaving any goddamn space for yourself, like it just bleeds. So I have the general challenge of, no, it's not this month in general, it's life. Because I don't feel more wound up by January by any means. Like I think it's an opportunity to reflect and freshen up some stuff and recalibrate. But for me, it's just like, I can just expend energy in useless places because I start to justify things in my head, right? I think that's the other thing I'll say for people. It's like, you really need to surround yourself by people that are going to call you out on your shit. And when I say call you out on your shit, just like raise the question to you of like, is that really the story, or are you just fucking creating it? Or now, because maybe you were so hyper resilient or like super motivated at one time in your life, you're still riding the coattails of like prior, and you're like, well, I fucking did work really hard for 5 years, and now, I'm doing the XYZ and it's a better fit for me. It's like, no, the better fit for you is always the balance in the middle. It's like going from one spectrum to the other. And so I'll segue, because I don't want to go off on random tangents, but this is why these books are really important, because I've had this conversation a lot with people, and I forget this about myself when I first got out of university, when I first got into a job, finally that I was like, I'm going to commit everything to this, I spent endless time driving and listening to podcasts, reading books. Every time somebody, a mentor, a boss, anyone would recommend a book, I would fucking read it, right? To get better. And so the value of reading is like that you take different perspectives in and you apply them to what feels and makes sense, but you have to put them into practice. Now, I think the thing where people get overwhelmed in January or at the beginning of the year is they go, I have to better everything. I have to change all things. And it's impossible for you to change everything all at once. Like all of the knowledge and habits, changes that I've made and the knowledge about health and my body is through practice. It's through knowledge, it's through perspectives. It's through, learning these things, but it takes years. And like you've said to me, action is what ultimately is going to teach you as well. But like preparation and action is important.
What's up?
What's up?
Boys? Am I interrupting?
Definitely.
Okay, we're back, folks. It's so funny. We've done 2 podcasts here.
This is why I tell you that
We gotta go back to my house?
Yeah, bro. There's no interruptions.
And I just need to build
But you're
the
always
set.
worried about what the fucking backdrop looks like.
I mean, backdrop's gonna be sick in the
Now
house.
I'm getting bothered.
You're getting bothered?
I'm a little frustrated.
Yeah, why are you talking slow?
So I'm trying to accentuate my
Trying to
frustration.
express my feelings.
All right,
Yeah,
bro.
okay.
You know what? I'm gonna read you something.
Okay. Oh, is this the surprise?
Yeah.
And then we can get back to my book club?
Yeah.
There's just some value there. Hit me.
Okay, so I want to read you a poem.
Oh my God, did you write this? Fucking knew it. I knew you were in love with me. I knew. Go.
No, this isn't a poem that I
Read me
that
my
I wrote.
poem.
This is a poem that I heard,
I deserve that. but yeah.
and it's called "It Couldn't Be Done" by Edgar Albert Guest.
Okay.
You ready?
I think so.
Okay. It's a bit long.
It's not long. Then read it fast. You're such a
gotta
piece of
You
shit.
gotta stick with me.
You
okay?
are just a
It's worth
piece
it.
of
It's worth it.
garbage.
Just the list is worth it.
Okay, but some speed.
Okay,
I don't need people to tell me I have to put you guys on 1.2 because you talk so slow. When Dalton explains his stories, he sounds like he's going at 0.75.
It's worth it.
Speed up.
It's worth it.
Get
okay?
some more caffeine and go.
No, it's worth it. It Couldn't Be Done by Edgar Albert Guest. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in with the trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hit... Okay, can I start over?
Oh my God, no.
Let me start over.
Oh my God.
Okay, It Couldn't Be Done by Edgar Albert Guest. You know what couldn't be done? Me reading this poem,
This
bro.
fucking podcast won't be
Okay,
done.
listen,
It's gonna be
listen,
done after this.
listen, I got it,
This
I got
is where
it.
we lose all our viewers.
I got it.
If our subscribers
I
go
got it,
down,
I got
I
it.
swear to God.
Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he, with a chuckle, replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in with a trace of a grin on his face. If he worried he hit it, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one ever has done it." But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew, he had begun it. With a lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without a doubting or, I don't know that word, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you cannot be. There are thousands that will tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesize failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. But you just buckle in with a bit of a grin. Oh, it is dangerous.
Oh my God.
Just take off your coat and go for it.
Okay. First of all,
Almost done. Just start to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you'll do it.
congratulations. I try to give you a pat on the back for reading in front of the class. Oh my God. Every teacher you've ever had is cringing right now. Fucking going, oh my God, this is why we didn't ask Dalton to talk in front of the class.
Oh, dude, I
my
tried.
God.
I tried to bring something to the podcast.
I get it. There's some sort of fucking belief in there. People doubting that you can achieve something and trying has merit. Is that pretty much what you're trying to say? Yeah, bro, I agree with you. Fucking don't read in front of the class ever again, okay? Keep it to yourself.
All right. Yeah, hey, you know what?
That's what you brought? That was what you were bringing today?
Sometimes.
Fuck, I bring everything. If you bring up editing again as something that's like so fucking magical you do, I'm gonna say I do everything else because that was fucked.
Sometimes you try and you fail, and you have to learn from it.
Yeah, you did there. All right, danger, buddy. Danger. Literally, this guy goes danger. It's okay. I mean, I'm just more impressed with what you've accomplished in life after witnessing that, to be honest with you. Like, I just am. It's just actually impressive what you've done with yourself.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, God.
All right, well, that failed.
It did. I mean, okay.
How do we transition out of that?
We're going to transition really hard, and I might get a little bit fucking intense, but at the end of the day, the reason we are doing this podcast, the reason we talk about having belief in yourself and pushing past like the doubts of others and going into uncharted waters. And I was talking, you know, before the break there that like about what I tried to do for myself. Like, I don't know why we innately want all the time to be better and constantly have more. I mean, I think we kind of do. And there's an emotional aspect to that from our past, but like we are sharing that and you try to share these things, because not enough people are challenging themselves to get the best out of themselves. They're not. They're just not. And I don't want to say that to put more pressure on people in this month and blah, blah, blah. What I'm telling you is sometimes we need to put more effort in the right places and remove the like need and the expectation of ourselves in other places. Okay? Because our value system right now, maybe as a society in some ways, is on the wrong shit. And at the end of the day, your health, your wellness, your mental health and wellness as well, physical and, is the most important thing. And you need money and you need your career and you need to take care of people and you need to do all these things. But like at the end of the day, your individual self and how you are showing up for you is the most important thing. And that's why we do this podcast and that's why we have these conversations and that's why I'm sitting in front of these fucking books. Because the biggest thing I see with people when I talk to them, with my clients, the hardest thing is, for whatever reason, is like spending energy and time on themselves. And I'm not even asking them to do a lot of it, right? It's like, you come to me and we're having this conversation and it's like, I need you to show up for yourself 4 times a week. And then while you're on your own, I need you to just take some consideration into what food you're eating and how you're, hydrating and just little habits. Like we have the James Clear Atomic Habits book. If you haven't read that book, this should be on everybody's like New Year's resolution list every single year. And I think everybody that has read it feels like it's beaten into them every year because they've done it already. But fuck me, that book has just got so many little things you can just change. So easy. The 2-minute rule, best thing ever. Start something for 2 minutes and you'll end up doing it. Start your exercise, you'll end up doing it.
Yeah. Can I interrupt you?
Hit me with something.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like I think there is like putting your time and energy towards the right things and removing things that aren't serving you. I think that's a big part of it. I like to come at it, I've tried to come at it from a bit of a different angle too though, because I think sometimes I think it's less about people's want to do it and more about their belief in themselves to do it. And I think a lot of people lack belief that they're capable of that. And for whatever reason, there's a lot of probably factors in each individual's life that keeps them from having the belief that they're someone who can be that person. Because I know for me, for a really, really long time, it wasn't that I didn't have access to the knowledge. I would read books. I would do all these things, but I really lacked belief that I was capable of being that person. And I would sit there and really feel like I wasn't. And that would paralyze me a lot. And it kept me stuck for a bit. And I think it still keeps me stuck in all the things that I'm trying to pursue in my life. Like, I don't think that ever goes away. I think I've gotten better at believing in myself. And I'm at a point now because I have this proof that like, if I lean into that, lack of belief that I have and try to figure out how I can build it, which oftentimes is just by doing the thing, and building confidence that you can do that thing, by making mistakes and failing and all that stuff. I have more belief in myself to take on new things that I lack belief in, but I think that is a big thing that holds people back, especially over the years of just like working with people on behavior change, because like changing your behavior to improve your knee pain is behavior change, changing your behavior to get fit. Like, I've worked with a lot of people on that front, and I think belief is a really, really big thing that people lack outside of the knowledge. And so what I've really been shifting my mindset on lately as someone who's coaching people is like, how do I help people build belief in themselves by getting them to stack these constant small wins that shows them that they are who they think they are. And that's something that I really challenge people to think about as they move through this new year and pursuing things, is like, why are you lacking belief, and how do you build that belief? And I think it's a different perspective to come at it from.
Yeah, I think people's belief in themselves is the challenge. And it's actually easier to believe in other people than it is to believe in yourself.
Totally.
And I think we fall in love with that, how it makes us feel. Yeah, it's bullshit. Like, I think genuinely, like, at some point in our life, we're like, I'm not good enough for that. So I'm just going to put all my like effort into somebody else. And it's like, you can do both. And actually, when you do both, you fill up both cups. And that's how your family, your friends, your teams do incredible things. Is like, when you have that self-belief that you develop or you get back to, and you stack your wins, like you're saying, then you can like supercharge everybody else.
Yeah, I became a better leader. I became a better brother. I became a better friend. I became a better person in a relationship when I started to build belief in myself that I am who I say I am. And I think that is what we're all in the pursuit of. And it's a scary thing to do that. And why I tried to read that poem is the point I wanted to get across was this. I think we look at these people that have all this success or are seen as like doing well, and we think that they're so unattainable. We think that they're this special person that I could never be that person. They have it all figured out. One, it's probably a facade, but two, those people that are living that have been started at a place that was no different than you and I. They've just kept continuing to lean in and build the belief and stack the bricks and do it for a really, really long time and overcome the fear and navigate the fear and fail and get back on. And I just really think that I try so hard to, and I've said this before, get people to realize that they have so much potential inside them, that they are no different than the people that they look up to. They just need to start doing it and building that belief in themselves. And a lot of people just get stuck in that spot where they just start telling themselves that they're not capable. And that is the biggest thing that I think holds people back. And that was the biggest thing that changed my life, was like realizing like these people that I looked up to were like no different than me, man. They were no different than me at all. They just did the thing. And then I was like, well, fuck it. I might as well just start doing the thing and see what happens.
Yeah, man, but I think we're missing a piece. We're not everybody. You keep saying aspire to be. I think people just stop aspiring to be anything. They just start getting in the minutia of the day-to-day, year-to-year, week-to-week, and it's like they're not looking up at people to be anymore. They're kind of just getting stuck in the rat race, and it's like they stop thinking of like what they can be because they had all these narratives about age dictates X about their physical ability. Age dictates like this about where they're gonna like. They don't look into the future with positivity, excitement, who they could still become. It's like, I think. Luckily for us, we've had this belief forever, but I
don't think that's true, bro. I haven't had this belief forever. I've been in those places, man.
Yeah, but you're younger, so you have time to figure it out.
I think that's bullshit. I think that's a cop-out, man. I think it's a cop-out.
For those people?
Totally.
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying.
So get over yourself.
But people, I don't know, get over yourself and do what? Like, I think they, like, I don't know. Again, like, it's like where you think you can be at whatever stage of life you are, and where you're at is always this big jump in people's minds. And it's like almost so big they don't think they can get there. And yet if you just, like you're saying, put time in over a period of time, you could absolutely be that or better. But like this gap constantly demotivates and just energizes people. And I think like until you hit like a really big wall and then you go, holy fuck, I need to figure this out. And again, like, I'll just be totally transparent with everybody. I'm coming at this from a week of, really talking to too many people about a lot of health complications and concerns, and it makes me fucking sad for them. It makes me sad that more people don't have the fucking drive to be their absolute best selves and care absolutely, 100% about their health. I mean, people say they do, and then it's like, cutting corners on little things. And it's like, I'm not trying to overwhelm people, but it comes down to, why are you doing that? If your why is large enough, you will do it. I just don't want your why to be so big and scary for you that it like, is the end almost, right? And again, like, it's just based on what I've talked, like how I've talked to people this week. It's just, so there's so much of the real worry of like where your health can go. I've seen it this week a lot. And I'm like, fuck, we got to figure it out. People have to care. We got to make these changes. We got to do it together as a group. Well, you can have balance in all of it, but like, if you're not even putting time into it, and then that's why I'm giving every single client that I speak to every week credit for investing in themselves, investing time in themselves, recognizing they're not in the place they want to be, and going forward in a new direction that is going to better them in the long run, and allowing themselves to sit in the I'm not where I want to be and just work through it progressively. I had a conversation with a client this week. I said to him, I was like, because he's trying to lose weight and he never wants to go back, and I said, you will never be this weight again. The way we are doing this is a total body recomposition and a habit restructuring, and you're investing a ton of money in this, and you will never go back because you're doing it the right way. You're doing it the hard way. You're doing it the slower but longer, way. And I'm telling you right now, you will never be this weight again. You're okay. You're fixing everything. His habits are just next level changed, and now we just have to put in the time. And I'm there every step of the way. But guess what? This human being is investing money in that. It's not free.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying there's no fucking price for your health.
Yeah.
And there's no like time associative price for your health. Like, if you waste time and you waste money on bullshit, in 20 years, you will not be able to come back from it. I watch the conversations that people have, and it's like, there's a level of not challenging yourself enough on shit, realizing that like you never get time back. You can always, make a little bit more money. Money it comes and goes, but like you'll never get time back. And at a certain point, there is a limit of what you can do. And I believe in the human potential at any age, but like, fuck.
Well, yeah, there's always a time limit.
There's irreversible effects.
So what are you feeling? Like you're not doing enough to help people? Like where is this coming from?
People are not doing enough to help themselves.
I think man, it's tough. I hear you, man. I hear you. But
the thing is, I don't got to do anything. I'm doing everything in my power as a human being every week in this podcast with all the shit that I put out to try to give up people the opportunities to look at themselves and say, I want to make a change and aspire like we're talking about to be.
I think a lot of people do, man.
Great. And so like, if you fucking see this in a clip, share it with a friend that needs it, and let's get more people on the wagon of like bettering themselves and believing in themselves and send them our way, because that's literally all we think about doing for whatever reason that we were put on this earth to do that.
Yeah.
And I want to do it for myself, but god damn it, do I ever want to share it? There's no fun to be healthy and awesome and live a best life alone. Like, I want to do it with people that are feeling the same fucking way. That's why we create these businesses. We spend time with these people, but it's like, no matter how much I sit up top my soapbox about fucking health, I'm still like just watching people around me like not fucking make changes.
And that's okay.
If you're okay with the repercussions, sure.
But that's not on you, man.
It isn't, but like...
Dude, I've been doing this like long enough now where I've been in this place you're at right now, and I go through waves of being probably like frustrated because I can sense your frustration. But what I've started to realize is like, all you can do is show up every day and do what you're doing, and you're doing a really, really good job of that. And you can only give people the opportunity to make the change. If they want to make the change, they will. If they don't want to make the change, they won't, and that's okay. You let them be. But all you can do is continue to show up, because you're just planting the seed, and maybe one day, 5 years down the road, that change might happen, or maybe it won't. And maybe that person will never, ever change. And that is also okay, because that's not on you. And when you start operating from that place, you feel a little bit lighter. You start having less of this frustration, and you're able to actually then connect and help the people that do grasp onto it, because there are a lot of people out there that are choosing to make that change, and they need you and they need me to help them in a nuanced way. And you gotta stay open and ready for those people. It's just really, really hard, because I'm just as caring as a person as you, is like letting go of the fact that there are going to be a fuck ton of people that you don't help because they don't want to be helped. And that's the hardest part. But that's part of growing in this profession and growing in what we're doing. And I've gotten to a place where I've come at it from that angle, and it has made my life, it has made my career way better, because I don't get caught up in that as much. Small times, but most of the times I'm coming at it from a better perspective, and it's been better overall. And what I end up finding is those people that I thought would never change actually end up coming back around at some point. Maybe it's 5 years down the road.
Yeah, but 5 years is like...
But that don't matter, bro. It ain't on you.
Yeah, I know, but you still feel the effects of it.
You got to get better at managing that.
Nah, fuck. Okay, I'm done. That's enough. I don't want to do this anymore. I can't have to talk like right now. And that's, you're not even doing anything wrong. I just can't. I just can't fucking do it. I can't hear that. Sorry. I love you, bro, but I'm just, I just can't. I'm not trying to personalize it, but I am, so that's on me, but maybe I can't do this right now.
This is a sick shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna wear it when we did the thing. Since it's me that had to crash it, I'll set the stage.
Yeah, bro. This is your comeback story.
This is the comeback story, but I feel really good about it. I feel a little bit awkward still about posting the me having, I'm not gonna call it a breakdown because it wasn't, me getting very emotional about a subject, but anyways, we'll segue nicely. So everybody, we're back for the second part of episode 2.
2 plus.
2 plus. 2.0.
And we back, no. You know that song?
No.
Chance the Rapper?
One? Oh, I see. You like Chance. I never was a big Chance fan. So we're back because
and we're matching sweaters.
Yeah, we are. We're matching.
And these sweaters?
Dope.
Still for sale.
Still for sale. I'll always be selling.
Brings out your eyes.
It doesn't bring out shit. So what happened in the last episode is I walked off the set. Something that came a little faster than I thought it would. I figured we'd get there eventually.
Me too, bro.
But it wasn't because of necessarily what Dalton said. To give a little bit of a background into kind of what I was going through that day, I had just talked to a family member about, another family member who was having some health complications. That week had been filled with a few people talking to me about some health complications. And quite frankly, it upset me and got me, a little more upset than I expected it would. And it's because I really care. I care about my parents a lot, and it made me really think about and feel kind of the mortality that they have. And sometimes, because I care so much, I don't want to feel that. And instead, I feel anger. Anger is like my go-to emotion. Anger I can use to do something productive. And so what I think I inadvertently tried to do was, okay, I'm going to take the feelings I have right now, the emotions that others are having that are making me emotional because we're all kind of feeling some type of way, and I'm going to put it into having a good conversation on the podcast and trying to motivate people to take better care of themselves. Because quite frankly, the problem I was having in that moment was, recognizing, all these people that are having some of these problems. Sometimes I really wish people would take better care of themselves sooner so that they could have better health outcomes, right? Like at the end of the day, I'm well aware that I can't remove all possibility of getting sick, disease, etc. But I do know that if I strength train, I eat well, I limit alcohol intake and smoking and all this shit, all these things that are bad for me, if I limit those things, like limit and live a healthy lifestyle, I will do better. And I want the people around me, especially those closest to me, to have the same will to live and live their best life, because they can live their best life. And quite frankly, hearing those things and those things coming up and having emotional conversations and me getting upset made me really think about my parents and how much I love them and how much I don't want them to suffer when they get older, or suffer now even as they're in their 60s, or as they approach kind of these ages where things start to happen and we, face our mortality. So I was just really emotional. And it was really hard to speak to an audience and not speak without some of that emotion coming out in different ways that I didn't love. And then when Dalton was saying certain things about how I need to manage the emotions, I hadn't given myself enough space to feel them. So I actually walked off because I was upset with myself. I was upset with how I was handling it, and I wasn't happy about how I was handling it. But quite frankly, like, knowing I needed to walk away and leave and give myself a break, and we had a great conversation after, was good, because I wasn't then going to take it out on somebody that, you know, somebody's fault that it wasn't. Like, it wasn't your fault. So, but I was like feeling like angry. But I was like, okay, I'm going to get angry at Dalton for no reason. I need to like leave for a second here and just chill. So anyways, that's kind of to catch everybody up. That's kind of what was up and what happened. And I think it's going to create a good opportunity for us to have a good conversation now in the back half of this episode, and then still put all this out, because this is why we do what we do. And it was just hard for me to, like, I felt like I was like almost yelling at the camera or being really blunt and aggressive at the, you know, the viewers, because I was like, fuck, I just wish people would like take better care of themselves. Like, then they wouldn't have to go through this. They probably won't. It'll be better. Like, do everything you possibly can. And again, that's my job as a coach, to try to give people the opportunity to do that. But I can't make people do that. Even, you know, my parents or all my family, I can't make them. I just need to show them support and love, and that'll lead to kind of what else I want to talk about. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, I think like there's a lot tied up into it, and I just think the number one thing is like you're passionate about what you do and you care about people. And I think when the veil is lifted on like what people can do to take control of their health and to live their life like as long and as like fulfilling as possible, you want everyone to know about it, and you want everyone to take advantage of it, because in reality, it's not that difficult to strength train, eat healthy, and try to live like, you know, like a healthy lifestyle. It's not that challenging,
no.
You know, and it's something that can legitimately extend your life. And so especially when it's tied up in people that you care about, like I can relate to that a ton with my dad. I've talked about it on this podcast before, and I felt the same exact way that you feel. And so like, I get that. I think that's normal. And I think it's actually, I like that you're that passionate about it. We need more people that are that fired up about it. I think the circumstance was just challenging. And I think what I want to say is like, this is just an example of like what we try to do with this podcast is like, we just come and try to put out what's going on in our life. We're trying to have conversations. Our lives aren't perfect. We're working on ourselves. We're dealing with emotions. You know, you came off a tough conversation into the pod. I could sense that. We wanted to roll with it because we knew like this has happened before. It's not like we haven't come in a podcast super emotional and like the podcast ended up coming out really well. Yeah. You know, so like this wasn't any different than some other circumstances. We just leaned into it. And now that we're removed from it, I find it funny that like at the start of the episode, we're talking about how like, I don't know how this is gonna go. Like we kind of knew like there was some like underlying energy there, and like that shit happens, man. And I think like I'm totally okay with it, and I think like there's a lot that we will probably talk about, you know, just how we even responded to that. And I think it's a good lesson to have, you know, good people in your life that can help you navigate these situations. And I think like in that moment as friends, we handled that situation well, which is important because like that shit's gonna happen in your life, man. Like you're gonna be emotional, you're gonna have times where it's like that stuff happens, and you just gotta figure out how to deal with it productively. Which I thought doing what you did and what we did was good.
Yeah. Again, like handling things doesn't always look like handling it perfectly. And, you know, if I can speak for myself and, you know, some growth for myself, like old me would have been angry, not told you anything about that prior to the conversation, held that in probably the whole time, gotten angry or maybe upset or just been a little more negative in maybe part of that podcast, and then just not told anybody and went home and just held on to it and got, you know, angry at myself or upset by myself. And instead, we talked before the podcast, I was upset, I was just explaining what's going on to you. And then, you know, we talked about a bunch of different things and we tried to segue that into the podcast, but I just not, you know, come to terms with what those emotions were making me feel. And that's what emotions are. And again, you and I have talked about this, we're gonna lean into emotions. That's what we do now. And it's really difficult, but we have our best, you know, eureka moments because of that. We have our best perspective shifts because of that. We learn how to regulate in better ways because of that, because we feel things all the way through. So I hope that sharing this out to everybody gives them an opportunity to see somebody not like maybe at their best and just handling something, but trying to do it in a positive way. And then ultimately us coming around to this after I've been given, you know, about a week of space, I can speak to it better. So it's good. I mean, I feel good about that we like tried to do it. I still feel good about, I know where my heart was and why I was saying those things, because I wish I could work out for my family. I wish I could, you know, eat better I wish I could do everything for them at times, because it's like, then I would just be able to control it, and we don't get to control life. right? Like, I don't get to control people. I just have to, extend the help. And what this led to, and this is what the weekend I'm coming off of, was I went home and I had all the conversations that I was feeling at the time that I didn't have when I was on the phone with people or whatever. And I went home and I had the conversations with my parents specifically. And I said to them both, like, and I still have to have some of this conversation with my mom a bit, but I said to her on the phone, but like, I had this with my dad big time, and I was like, I am here for you. I want you to be the healthiest you can be. What do you need from me to do that? And, and it's not, and again, it wasn't, oh, you're not doing this, or, oh, you need to be better. Like, it was, I love you. I can help you. I think there's like opportunities to like work in these different things to make you feel better and to age better and do all this stuff. And I'm just I love you and I want to help. And so I approached it that way, and I led with love. And I think that's what you have to do. And you need to kind of separate your emotions from it a little bit so you can kind of do that. And it led to a really good conversation with him, and, led to us working on some different things as far as exercise and some dietary changes and just working on some changes so he's happier and healthier. And I hope to do the same with my mom too, and just extend the hand and just like be there for them.
But how do you feel about it? Like, how did you feel after that?
After I did that?
Because that's moments about you too, right? Like, on some deeper shit. Like, I think like, personally, I think you doing that is awesome. And like, I think this whole scenario is a good growth opportunity for you, realizing like, oh, the real conversation I need to have is this conversation with them, and this is spiraling up because I'm not. And like, you and I get caught in this a lot. We're having these conversations about other circumstances in our life on how we want to handle them. Yeah. But we're talking to each other about it versus like talking to the person that we need to talk to about it, which I think there's some health to that, because it's like you and I can talk about it and get some thoughts and some perspectives before maybe we go and have that conversation that is uncomfortable. But like, you and I have both felt this recently, is like, if we let that fester too long, it ends up coming out in other ways, and it carries over to other situations. And so then like going and actually like facing that conversation and having that conversation, like, how did that feel?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is the anger comes from resentment, and the resentment comes from resentment towards yourself, because you haven't had the conversations that you wanted to have, or even said what you feel you need to say. Mm-hmm. Because you're avoiding it, because you don't want conflict, because you don't think they'll change. And if you don't say anything, then nothing will change. No, so and this goes for all situations. Like, It's just an avoidant behavior because you don't want conflict and challenge, right? So leaning into the discomfort of the emotions that you have and how you feel about them. Things I can't control, I used to pull away from and used to act like I don't care, but we still care no matter what. And that was the hardest thing on that day that I tried to talk to you about was, and that's why when what you said affected me so much, because you were like, well, you need to manage how you feel better. And I'm like, well, I've fucking been managing it.
Bitch.
Right? Like, motherfucker, I've been managing it, but I didn't need to manage it better. I needed to feel it, and then I needed to explain that to people, and then I needed to kind of, again, lead with love and say like, what I needed to say to these people, right? Totally. Because when you get phone calls where tough things are happening, with family members or, people that it really makes you feel a lot like, oh, we're not on this planet forever. Like, something could happen. And as you get up in those ages, it's like, it very well could. And so for me, it was just like, I needed to reach out and instead of avoiding the feeling or pulling away more or just saying it's not my business, like, that's on them, they'll come to me if they want. Nope. Hey, just so you know, I'm here. Hey, just so you know, like, I want you to be happy, healthy. If you're having these problems, like you're having these challenges or whatever, I want to help you. So, it was a good realization for me to have the hard conversation. And we've talked about this a lot. In everything in our lives, we're doing this now, and it's really led to just some beauty and some alignment on the other side. But it's first having that like incremental conversation with the people you need to have it with right away, and just saying it. Hey, I love you. I'm sorry this is happening, this is making me really think about you, and I just want to make sure you're taking care of yourself, and how can I help you do that? Because this is what I do for a living. And that was the hardest part. This is what I fucking do for a living. Yeah. I help all these people.
Yeah, that's what
I just want, my family to be able to reach out to me and be like, I need some help. And I go, I'm there. And I am. So that's what I showed them this weekend. And that's, what came out of it was just a lot of good conversations because of how I approached it. It wasn't about what you're not doing. It was about, here's what I'd like to help you do if you want. I think it's important. I hope you do too. How can we get there? On a lot of levels. So yeah, it led to a really beautiful conversation. Again, I hope this leads to maybe a few of you thinking about, conversations you need to have with your family or friends or whoever, because the health conversation is always one that should be had, shouldn't be avoided.
I'm with you, bro.
So yeah. Anyways, man, anything else you want to say on that?
No, it's not about me.
That's a first day?
Yeah.
Didn't you say that earlier in that podcast? Yeah. Oh, no, you said it in the first episode. Oh, this isn't about me.
This isn't about me, bro.
This isn't about me.
No, I think that was good.
Yeah. And this is the thing, too. I think it's funny because you say that, but it's like, it wasn't, like, it's not about my health either. And again, I think we love to just, like, pull back when we'd love for it to not be about us, and we just, like, let people, but, like, actual love, friendship, family is like having the hard conversation and saying, like, despite this not being my thing, here's just what I see, and I'm just gonna say this to you because I care about you. Like, do you want any help with this? And again, it's bringing it back up.
Yeah, man, I think that aspect is prominent in a lot of people's lives. I know it's been in mine, and like I think it's interesting that it's hard sometimes to have the hardest conversations are to have with family. There's a lot obviously tied up in that, but I think the one thing that, I mean, you're doing a really good job of, I'm trying to do a really good job of, and we're trying to portray that on this podcast, and this is a good example of it. It's like just leaning into those things, and like it's gonna be hard. It's gonna result in some challenges, some emotion, but on the other side of it is a potential to like further that relationship deeper, and if not, at least you feeling at peace with what you've done and how you've approached it. And I think that's even more important, is that like internally you feel good about how you've went about doing what's true to you.
Yeah, and that's too, like, I think people will leave breadcrumbs for the conversations they want to have with you. Like, they'll leave you little hints, and then it's up to you to just be like, I'm going to grab that breadcrumb and I'm going to ask you about it and say, what do you mean?
Yeah, and someone's got to do it, bro.
What do you want to talk about? Yeah.
Someone's got to do it.
Because it just comes up, right? And if you avoid it or you just play the generalist or whatever, it's instead of just being like, how can I help you? Because I got lots of stuff going on in my life too. And they have lots of stuff going on in their life, right? But this is something that's unavoidable. It's something that we absolutely have to make time for. The other thing I just do want to say quickly, because I think a lot of people self-sabotage with this mindset in place. You know, it's like, I'm too far gone. I don't believe that like these things can change. And unless you've actually given yourself a good shot at it in mind, body, nutrition, etc., like all aspects, like you really don't know what you can do. And I'm not talking like doing this for 2 months and expecting a result. I'm talking like doing this for 2 years. And because I've had health problems and I've watched other people have health problems, and over a long enough period of time doing the right thing, all these things stack up, add up, etc., right? It might not change from month to month. We're all looking for that medication that will fix this immediately and this thing that will do this, and wanting this discomfort to go away, but it doesn't come from just like these magic pills all the time. And unfortunately, we've leaned on that too much as a population, that we've gotten this idea that if the medication can't fix it, well, it's unfixable. And, you know, good diet and exercise and, you know, bringing down your stress through other methods and taking time to be, you know, present and avoiding, you know, not like, it's just all of that stuff, avoiding alcohol, like all that stuff really leads to these gradual health outcomes and these changes. And I have lots of clients that even say it to me now. They're like, I just feel so much better. You know, I have a client, I was with him today, and he's like 4 months into just working extremely hard and making a ton of changes. And he's around alcohol all the time. It's for like in his business, he's around it. And he's just like turned that away, and he's made better decisions, and now he can make decisions for himself, right? Not because others want him to do it. And he's just changed so much, and he feels incredible. And I look at him and I go, you know, this is what I want more people to realize it can be. So I don't believe that I can control everything and I won't get sick or I will age perfectly. But I believe if I put my best foot forward every single day, I will age to the best of my possible ability. And I'd rather look back and say I gave it everything than say, fuck, I cut corners a lot or I didn't even try. Because once you get to a certain point, there is absolutely no going back. And that's in the last podcast where I was like, you said it, I was like, 5 years, man, is not enough time or whatever I said. I was like pissed about the time. And it's like, yeah, dude, every decade you get closer to, there is a time where this turns and you're screwed. Mm-hmm. And that's reality. Yeah. That is actual reality.
Yeah.
So I believe I will look, feel, like be able to be active, be strong at an older age. I just believe it to be true. And I think my habits will dictate that. And if something out of the ordinary happens, I will also recover from that better. I will do better when I have to handle that and go through that. I can't avoid those things in life. But again, if I'm prepared, you know, I'll be strong and I'll be able to handle it and I'll do a better job at it rather than if I've been avoiding things for a long time and let myself go. So I hope this episode helps a lot of people. I hope the emotional aspect of it, brings up some stuff inside of you that, pushes you towards having conversations that you may have to have with loved ones or partners or, family members, and just do it and do it from a place of love, because it's really important. We don't have infinite time on this planet. So.
And if you don't take that, at least you got a poem from me.
Oh, fuck yeah, the poem. Most ridiculous thing ever. That won't be happening again on this podcast. Absolutely not. All right, guys.
All right, peace.
Thank you so much.